Hey everybody, Kieran Murray and Sherry Murray here.
Hello, people.
We are with Let's Talk About Northwest Wines, and this is the bottom of the bottle.
Yep.
Here's the bottle, today's bottle. We are talking about Synne Cellars. So we call this bottom of the bottle because we actually drink the first half of the bottle, and then we pour the second half, and we come and talk to you. And so we're on the bottom of the bottle.
It just makes it easier.
Makes it easier.
Yeah.
So we are here to talk about Synne Cellars today. Also, you see us sporting our new swag. Let's talk about Northwest Wines Tasting Crew. It's official. You can be part of the tasting crew. They're only $750 per hoodie.
They are not.
Well,
I will give you a deal.
If someone will pay $750, we should really take it.
Oh, well, I would take it if you want to pay $750, but I don't think we'll have any takers on that.
So, let's talk about, well, here's what we do in this little segment is we talk about the wineries that this bottle represents because we've had some sort of experience there. We just want to share that with you. We obviously wouldn't do this unless we love the winery. So we're going to talk about Synne Cellars. They're up in Woodinville.
Yep.
They're in the Warehouse District.
Yep.
And we found them actually kind of by accident.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of, if you're not looking for them, they're kind of tucked away on the side. Around the corner. And we were actually doing, we were sitting down drinking wine at Ambassador Wine. So they're right next to Ambassador. Mm-hmm. And it was coming up on 5 o'clock, whatever, it must have been on a Friday or Saturday, whatever day it was. And
AKA closing time.
Well, their hours say they're open till 7. So, yeah, so
okay.
I had planned to go over there when I saw them closing down, and our table was right, like, just on the other side of the fence from Synne. We didn't know them yet, so I just yelled to them and said, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you closing?" And they said, "Yeah, it's pretty slow," so they were going to close. And I said, "Well, if we come over there and drink wine, will you stay open?" And they said, "Sure." So it was
I think Isaac said, "Do you smoke cigars?"
Yeah, the deal was he was going to have a cigar or something. I said, "Well, if you have an extra one, I'll come over and smoke a cigar with you and drink wine." So we did that. So we got done at Ambassador. We had actually already joined their club. They've got great wines. And so we went next door. Okay. So I didn't feel like we were leaving Ambassador and they should be mad at us for leaving. So we went next door and met two awesome people. So the winemaker, the owner, Isaac Schmidt, cool guy, awesome guy, had a great time with him. And then he's got this lovely lady that he dates that's pretty much the boss of all things. So her name is Nova Chamberlain.
So she should be.
And so we sat down, just the four of us, and drank wine. And
we drank a lot of wine, actually.
We actually drank a lot of wine that day and that night. But
Isaac knows how to pour.
Yep.
And then when Isaac turns his head, Nova really knows how to pour.
Yeah. So all the wines were awesome. The cigar was awesome. So it was fun just to sit there and learn from Isaac, how he got started. And he had actually just moved into the warehouse, into that facility, like right when COVID hit, like just right before that. So, man, talk about just bad timing that, you open your new business and boom, and then, a pandemic hits. But they're still here. They're still around. And Isaac makes a fabulous wine. Can you hear that little beeping? She's cooking something to pair with this fabulous wine. So, by the way, the wine we're drinking today from Synne Cellars is their 2018 Reserve Cab Sauv, and it is
delicious.
It is awesome. Last night we had the Del Toro, which is their Tempranillo, which was just to die for. So when we got done drinking there, by the way, I had asked Isaac. I said, we're more prone to drinking the reds, not so much the whites, although he does have some good whites. I asked him, I said, how many reds do you have? And I think it was 5. So I just told him, I said, we'll take one of every red you have. And that's what we brought home. So we still have wine from that, fortunately. We got to go back and probably get more, I think. This might be the last one. I'm not sure.
Did we take 2 of every one? Because I think we came home with a case.
No, we took one of every red. But then we've had a chance to go back. We did an event up there on September 26th between Synne Cellars and Ambassador. And we took like almost 50 people up. And people tried both wineries and loved them, and they had great reviews, and people just fell in love with Isaac and Nova. But these guys are awesome. So I would highly recommend that if you get a chance to get up to the Warehouse District and you're looking for new places to taste that you haven't been to before, go check these guys out, because they make some, Isaac makes some fantastic wine. Tell them we sent you. They're awesome people, and they just have some really good wine. You gotta.
So one of the
drink
things
it.
that really stood out to me is we had gone up there, and it was actually the day before our tasting event with Ambassador and Synne. And they had another group that had come in to taste at their tasting room. And when we saw them, they were taking the group that was there, and they were going with them. They'd closed their doors, and they had gone to other tasting rooms and tasted with the group and introduced that group to other wineries in the Warehouse District. And I just thought that that was super cool to see the camaraderie amongst the tasting rooms and the cross promotion that was being done. And Nova and Isaac do a really good job with that.
I think that's where we ran into them down at Kestrel on the
yeah.
other end of the building. And I think they had quite a bit of wine by that point, and we
Yeah, they were
had quite a
pretty
bit of wine.
at that point.
And I think Isaac was the only guy with about 10 different
He
ladies,
wasn't complaining.
he seemed like he was having a good time.
Yeah, it was okay.
So-
that was something that just really stood out to me. I mean, we've had experiences with both Isaac and Nova, on several different occasions. And yes, they make great wine, and their price point is really, really affordable. And that's all fine and good. But the big thing that really stood out to me was the camaraderie that they had for the other wineries and other tasting rooms in the district there, and how they were taking people, not just themselves, but they were taking people to other wineries.
Yeah, they weren't just weren't referring, and they weren't saying, "Hey, you got to go check this one out." It was, "Hey, let's go. We're going to go with you." And yeah, they closed down their doors, and because they were done, and started taking people. That was awesome.
So big cheers to Nova and Isaac. And there's a number of them that do that.
There's a good group up there in the Woodinville Warehouse District that are like that. They support each other. Mm-hmm. And I know Ambassador right next door to them just raves about them because they're great neighbors, mm-hmm. and Kestrel loves them, and Kestrel sends people down. And that stood out to me as well. So when you guys get a chance, and there's some really, really, really great big wineries that have been around for a lot of years, mm-hmm. That make really great wine. But it's one of my favorite things is to find someone who's just starting out and taste their wines and see how good they are, and then be able to tell people about them and hopefully help them build their business. And we want to be able to do the same things as Isaac and Nova did when they took their friends out. We want to take our friends to these wineries. That's why we took 50 people up with us to Ambassador and to Synne Cellars that day, because we want to expose people we know to them. And it's just really fun when you find someone who's really, really new into the industry, maybe brand new or within a couple years old, and to help them, get on their feet and do cool stuff. Because the bigger wineries, they're kind of set. They've got things dialed in, right? And I'm not going to knock them at all because they make some really great wines.
Well, I think the biggest thing is when you go into a bigger winery, how often are you going to be able to sit down with the winemaker?
Yeah, amen.
I mean, that's huge to us, is be able to have that personal touch.
You're not going to sit with the winemaker. You're not going to sit with the wine owner. Some of them are so big, they're owned by a board of people and stuff.
Right.
And
they've been around for years, and they've paid their dues, and they deserve everything that they have. And we are absolutely not dissing them at all. It is just one of the things that Karen and I feel really strongly about, is really supporting the local small to mid-sized winery.
Yep. When you that's probably the coolest thing about going to Synne Cellars is when you go there, there are no employees, so it is Isaac and Nova. So when you are talking to them, you are talking to the owner, you are talking to the winemaker, you are talking to the guy, It's really cool.
You're talking to the guy that crushed these grapes.
What's really cool is we like to include Nova and Isaac amongst our friends, and I'm sitting there going, "The guy made this wine that we're drinking right now." I mean, it's just unbelievable.
We know him. We know his name. We know his girlfriend's name. I mean, we know things about them.
Yeah, we've had a good time hanging out with them stuff, and so that's what's cool about going to these smaller wineries is you get to meet the people who are actually doing it. More beeping, right? So she's obviously getting close to making me something really good to pair with this. So when you get a chance, you got to get up there, go say hi to Isaac, go say hi to Nova, drink some wine, take some home, because that is just, everyone I talk to that drinks their wine said, oh my gosh, Cellars rocks, and they really do. So we wouldn't be doing a video saying they rocked unless they rocked. So you got to go check them out.
Absolutely.
What else you got to say about Isaac and Nova?
That's it.
They just rock.
They just rock.
They
They're
just flat out
amazing.
rock.
Their wines are great. I'm glad to have met them, and I consider them friends. And this is a newer experience for Kieran and I as well. We are nowhere near to being
wine experts.
Yeah, not even close. I couldn't even come up with the words
wine
expert.
Have we even reached like a wine novice yet?
No, we're not even to the crawling stage. We're completely in infancy.
Like, what are the levels? Is there like crawling, then novice, then what's in between novice and wine expert?
I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
We're down here.
We're infancy.
I'm at the point right now. What's really cool is I can recognize a red 2 out of 3 times. And I don't mean by if it's a Syrah or something or a Merlot.
And it's because he's looking in the glass.
I can just recognize that it's red. That's it, right? That's a red wine. I can get that.
Kidding.
I can get it 2 out of 3 times if the color of the glass is right on the bottle. So
yeah, if we were doing a blind taste, who knows?
If we're doing a blind taste, I could probably determine if it was a red or a white, but not. That's a Syrah. That's a Merlot. That's a...
So that's good, because if you think about it, when we did our blind tasting before, and I think we did that probably 2 years ago, you couldn't tell between a red and a white in the blind tasting. So you've grown. That's good. We're getting there.
She just kind of insulted me.
I didn't insult you. I tried to make you look good. Sorry.
Yeah, if you guys are really like wine type people, this is going to be a really good group for you, because we are
non-bougie people.
We just like drinking wine and drinking what we like, and there's a whole lot of good stuff out there in Washington and Oregon and Idaho, and we're just trying to make our way through all the wineries.
I think there's a huge misconception. I know I had it with wine, is that people who drink wine were wine snobs, and that is so far from an accurate statement for the majority of people, at least the people that we've encountered in the last couple of years that we've been doing this. There's people that know a lot about wine, but there is no snobbery around it. There is no bouginess around it. They are just average run-of-the-mill people, just like you and I. And they're pretty amazing. So that stereotype has totally been thrown out the window for me. Because I haven't really experienced it very much.
Yeah.
So.
All right, gang. So here's what you've learned in this episode is I can recognize red 2 or 3 times.
This is about Synne, not you.
And that Synne Cellars up in the Woodinville Warehouse District totally rocks.
Yes.
Isaac and Nova rock it out big time. Go see them. Go drink their wines. Go pick up a case or 2. Especially during this COVID, you can't sit down for a tasting for a while. So get in there and do some curbside pickup and buy some stuff.
Support the local wineries.
Support the local wineries. And you will love this wine, I'm sure. And tell them we said hello when you get there. So we are out of here. Clink, clink. Cheers. Love you guys. Cheers. Have a great night.
Bye, guys.